And today the beginning of the first chakra is the root. Now the root is really responsible for us feeling a sense of being grounded, feeling safe, feeling secure. But what the root also sort of energetically symbolizes is development. So it ties in really closely to us as babies. And where it gets really interesting, and I don't want to go too woo-woo with everyone because I want to kind of keep this quite obviously yoga-centric, but interestingly, with the root chakra, if as babies we didn't get all the nurturing and nourishment that we needed, and remember lots of babies are different, some babies need more, some others need less, but if at the baby stage in our life we didn't get what we needed, it can often lead to blockages in the root in our later years. And what this means is it can be things like we could be a little bit possessive of stuff, we could potentially have issues with food or money management. So it gets really interesting when you start thinking about the root and how it affects us. When it's blocked, we are often quite disconnected from the outside world. We are obsessive of our staff and things like that. But when it is balanced and flowing, then everything seems to be in balance. For example, we have good, healthy relationships with not only physical objects, but also personal relationships with our loved ones. So let that kind of resonate a little bit without going too deep into it. But the location of the root is at the very base of the spine, and the color that is associated to it is red. It's also connected to the earth element. So today and this whole week is all going to be focused around grounding us into the earth. If you can get out in nature, amazing. Like it's been such glorious weather. I'm sure everyone was out over the weekend. But maybe go out onto your grass with your shoes off, barefoot, and just feel what it feels like to be earthed to the ground beneath you. In our yin practice today, we're going to be very much focused on the lower half of our body, so lots of leg stuff and opening of the hips. So let's get started. We're going to come into a seated foot stretch. Now we do this one quite often, and I know it's quite intense, right? So for most of us, this is intense to sit like this. When we're practicing yin, it's all about easing yourself into the practice. So there's no pushing, there's no forcing. It's all about finding your equilibrium, your balance, okay? So you'll tuck under your feet, sit on your knees. Now, if your knees don't like this and you're not comfortable like this, then you would just sit on your heels. If you still can't sit on your heels, then you sit on your bottom, okay? And you just bring your feet round your toes towards your hips. Okay, so let us sink in. We're just centering ourselves in this practice, in this present moment. Grounding into the earth, feel the floor beneath your feet. Feel the weight of your knees pressed onto the floor. Now, if this is too much, your modification is to come down on the hands. Keep your feet tucked under. If it's still too much, walk forward and stay on your hands and knees. So this just takes off the stretch a little bit. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes, so you might need to modify. Halfway through, you might think, I've got to go here. Maybe halfway through, you'll wiggle your toes, give yourself a little break. Because remember, we are all about nurturing and nourishment, okay? Lovely. So wherever you are, close your eyes. Listen to your breath flowing in and out of the nose. Allow your shoulders to soften. And just give yourself space to let go of your day. So as we practice today, we're going to work with mantra, affirmation. It is not your job in this practice to feel into the affirmations that I suggest and hold on to them and force yourself to believe in them. It is your job to notice how they resonate with you. Okay, so just let the words wash over you. Feel into what they feel like, and if there's any resistance or any feelings that are not emotionally viable, then just notice that. Let it come up for you. Okay, so the first one in this pose is I am safe. I am safe. How does that feel? am safe in the knowledge that everything will be well. I am safe in this moment with myself. And just feeling the ground, the supportive ground beneath your hands, if your hands are down, beneath your knees, your toes. Allow the breath to channel into the soles of your feet. We'll be here for a few more minutes. If you need a little break, take it. Remember to honor your body. It is so important, you guys. Yoga is all about this listening inward. Finding that deep connection to yourself, to your inner voice and guidance, to how you show up for yourself in the world. Good, you got one more deep breath in. Exhale into the soles of your feet. Now to come out, you're just going to bring your hands to the floor if they're not already there. Walk the hands under the shoulders. Then 1 foot at a time, just release the toes. Place the top of the foot to the floor. And then do the same on the other side. And then just rest. Rest the tops of your feet into the floor. Slide them forward and back. Good. And then let's just lift the feet up off the ground and wiggle them. Wiggle those toes. Give them a little swirl. Very deep, that one. If you are used to wearing high heels, you would have felt that intensely. Okay, so the next one onto the ankles. We're going to take the hands back. Palms to the floor. You're just going to lift the knees up until you feel the stretch in your ankles. Some of us might not be able to lift too high. It doesn't matter. Remember, it's important to remember wherever you are in your practice is exactly where you need to be. Don't judge, don't force, and certainly don't suffer. Okay, so we're going to be a couple of minutes. Again, same thing applies. If it comes up and you think, whoo, no, can't do that. Bring your knees closer towards the floor. Lift your heart a little if it doesn't feel good on your knees. Place your hips flat on the ground, and then just point your toes. That's the modification, okay? And wherever you are, we find the breath, we find the flow of life, in and out. So the next affirmation we're going to work here is there is enough for everyone, including me. There is enough for everyone, including me. There is enough for everyone, including me. So just giving ourselves the space here to completely be still, to feel into the stretch of the front of the ankle and breathe into that space. Feel the ground heavy, supportive under your palms. Listening to your body. If you need to lower the knees, you do. Remember, a lot of the practice that we learn in Yin Yoga is all about surrender. It's about accepting where you are, dropping into stillness, and then observing what's coming up. For many of us, we have busy lives, and we find being still and quiet in the mind very challenging. That's okay. Please do not get irritated with yourself. You are where you need to be. Good. Slowly lower the knees towards the floor. Coming out of this once again, very, very slow. Onto the hands and knees. When if you feel a gush of heat into the feet, that's normal, so don't panic. Wiggle the feet, swirl the ankles round a few times. Very good. Okay, so next into deer pose, you're going to bring your right leg forward. Knee is going to stay bent. And then you're going to sit yourself down onto the right side of your hip. And then slide your right heel up so that it's in line with the knee and parallel with the front of the mat. Then this left side, we're going to again make a 90-degree bend in the knee and bring the ankle and knee, flex the ankle and bring the ankle in line with the knee. So we're now here. For some of us, this is going to feel really uncomfortable. So if you need to modify, You can start by straightening into that leg and sitting down. So you've only got one 90-degree bend. Okay, so that might be an option. But for the rest of us, you're just going to sit here. Now I'm going to have to shuffle forward because I can't lean back. To make it intenser, so if you feel, oh yeah, that's easy, I can do more than that, you're going to bring your hands back. Okay, so you're going to sit back. Then you're going to think about the left hip, rooting that down. And you should feel a really big stretch here on the outside edge of that hip. Okay, I think everyone looks all right. Are we all okay? Yeah, good. And that's it. We just park off in this pose and release. So either sitting forward a little bit if it's too intense, having this left leg straight if it's still too intense, and then to make it a little more challenging, we take ourselves back. Good. And then as you rest here, just allow yourself the space in which to breathe and soften. So the next affirmation we're working on here to root ourselves into the earth is: my friends and family love and support me. My friends and family love and support me. Allowing those words to just resonate with us. And again, exploring if perhaps maybe you haven't felt supported in the past. You know, where is that coming up? Is there something we need to explore more intimately with ourselves so that we can release and let go? Reminding ourselves in this moment that to be grounded and safe in our lives is to be present. To take each conscious breath and drop into the moment. Harnessing the senses of sight, sound, smell, hearing, touch. Witnessing how we are. And if there is anything we can do for ourselves that we need to feel more safe and secure in our life. Perhaps it will be something quite simple, like just not being hard on ourselves anymore, being okay with what we're doing, being proud of ourselves for what we're doing. Yeah? A couple more breaths. Let your heart shine forward. So when we're working on the root chakra, we can often just take the awareness mentally to the base of the spine, to witness a red ball of energy swirling around, becoming brighter with each breath. We'll take another last inhale together, fully through the nose. Exhale all the way out through the nose. Very nice. And then wherever we are coming forward. We are just going to lengthen the left leg now, if you haven't already got it. Some of you might already be there. And bring the sole of the right foot to the inside thigh of the left leg. Good. And then we're just going to take a really nice forward fold over this front leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine, rotate the left shoulder towards the left side. Then draw your navel to the spine and bow your chest forward. So there's a gentle twist in this pose. If you want, you can stack some pillows on top of your thigh to rest your head. If you have a yoga block and you can reach it, you can put the yoga block there to rest the head. Otherwise, just simply placing the palms down on the floor, lengthening from the root right up your spine to the crown of your head. Think about your heart staying open so the collarbones are moving apart. And as you come into the stillness, all you need to do is just surrender the pose. Surrender the shape. Letting the yin yoga practice do the work for you. Good. And then breathe. So in this pose, our mantra is all of my needs are met. All of my needs are met. Again, just noticing how those words wash over you. Just allowing the breath to soften your body, channeling your awareness down into the root, seeing that red light, feeling the earth beneath you. All these little points of consciousness help to secure our place in this world. If we think about our life in terms of having a divine purpose, perhaps you already know why you're here and you're working on it. Perhaps you have no clue. But as you set the intention here and now to ground yourself into this present moment and ask your inner guidance system to show you the way, we practice letting go of the mind's thoughts and dropping into the feeling of the heart. To be centered is to be grounded. Being connected energetically to all living things. A couple of more breaths here. If you feel tension in the body, your job is just to notice it, to breathe into it and soften. So for example, if you feel pull in the kind of right lower back, you take a breath into that space and then think soft exhale into the muscle. Good. And then slowly begin to inhale as you rise. Okay, so we're just going to change over into the deer pose that we did before on the left side. So you'll bend the left knee now. Take the right knee back. So setting up, remember it's a couple of 90-degree bends with our knees. So the left knee, left ankle, 90 degrees parallel to the top of your mat. And then right knee parallel to the hip and ankle at a 90-degree bend away, ankle flexed. Maybe this side will feel more open, maybe it'll be considerably tighter. Okay, modification again, right leg straight. So you're sitting up like this, 190-degree bend at the front left leg. That's option 2, lower the posture down to make it more easy. Then option 2 is to sit up here, rooting the right hip into the earth. You're going to feel that inner thigh, outer thigh. And then making it a little more challenging, you lean yourself back. So just listen to what feels right for your body, okay? Find the pose, find the position even that feels good, that you can think, yeah, I could stay for about 5 minutes easily, okay? And then breathe. Grounding into the earth. So in this one, our mantra is, I attract abundance in all areas of my life. I attract abundance in all areas of my life. How wonderful. To draw in love and light into every area, your career, your health, your relationships, your home. I love to explore the theories and people's reviews of the law of attraction. And I strongly believe it too. For in those moments of life where I have felt positive and had faith in what is going on, I've attracted lots of abundance. But the same applies when I've been down in the dumps and just thinking negatively, and more negative experience and challenges start to come forth. So it does really work to think about what it is we want in our life and to really believe that we can truly have whatever our heart desires. As you ground down, again, bring your awareness to the base of your spine. Notice the breath. Giving yourself time to settle. Right hip is rooting. Couple more breaths here. I attract abundance in all areas of my life. Take a deep inhale where you are. We're going to slowly come out. If your hands were back, you'll bring your hands forward. Start to straighten into the right leg. Bring the left foot into the inner thigh. Take a deep breath as you straighten your spine. Rotating round to face the straight leg. And then exhale your chest towards your knee as you come into that forward fold. Half butterfly pose. And then just sinking into the stillness of your practice. Feeling the heaviness of your body connected to the earth. One thing you just want to remember as you come forward is to think about your heart center. Let the shoulders move back. Keep the chest open. And then breathing into the base of your spine. So our root chakra is, I mentioned what it's responsible for energetically and emotionally, but physically the organs and areas within the body that the root focuses on is the adrenal glands, is the kidneys, the colon, bones, muscle, blood. Obviously the color red is the color of life force. When you think about our blood, it's red, isn't it? It gives us life. A lot of the earth is quite red when you go down into the core. So when we think about the color red, we think about grounding. We think about centering, being safe. We have red traffic lights. What do they symbolize? Caution, action. You know, when we think in our life, for the things our heart desires, do we take the action to get those desires? Do we hold on to those actions too tightly when our life is pulling us in a different direction? So it's all about the flow, isn't it? It's about how life moves. And we can bring our attention to the breath here and notice that the breath moves in and out, as does our life, ebb and flow, through the light, through the dark. Couple more breaths here, breathing into those muscles. And when you're ready, inhale, slowly rise up. So we're going to go into the full butterfly now. Bring the soles of your feet together. If you find this quite challenging, your modification here is to have something here underneath the thigh. So if you're sitting up like this, it can be quite intense. Put something underneath here, okay? Like a pillow or a blanket or whatever you have nearby. And then sit up nice and tall. Let the knees fan out. Draw your spine from the root, this red ball of energy down here at the base of the spine. Let it rise up out of each vertebra, out of the earth. Good. And then keeping the heart shining forward, leading with the chest, you're going to edge yourself forward. And the mantra for this practice is, my needs are valid. My needs are valid. My needs are valid. What I need is important. Yeah, I'm sure you can all relate with me in this one, that there's been many times our needs have gone second to those whom we care for, we love, our children, our pets, whomever. But not from today, please. Think about yourself as this divine goddess whose needs matter. And when we think about giving our love to others and supporting those whom we care about, Rebecca Campbell says it beautifully. She says in her, I think it's Light is the New Black, or Black is the New Light, that our bodies are like a well, and if our wells are empty or depleted, we have nothing to give to anybody. But if we fill up our wells so that they overflow, then it is the overflowing loving energy that we can share with our loved ones. And the way I sort of interpret this is we have to take care of ourselves first. That is not selfish, it is not vain, but it is necessary for our mental health, our physical and emotional well-being. My needs are valid. Say it now loud. See how it resonates. Are there any buts? And I only giggle in kindness because we all have buts, don't we? We're all human beings after all. And whilst all of this beautiful wisdom is there, we sometimes ignore it, don't we? Myself included. Okay, last deep breath in here. Exhale slowly out the nose. Feel that earth beneath you. Good. And then we're going to move into a lunge and quad stretch. If you've got sensitive knees here, guys, double over your mat, get a blanket or pillow to put under your knee if you need it. So let's bring both of hands to the floor. We're going to transition slowly to hands and knees, starting with the right leg forward first. So you'll take your right foot, bring it through the arms, place it down on the mat. I'm going to double over my mat because I'm a creature comforter. Good. Okay, so the left knee is going to be, firstly tuck under your left toes and draw your left leg away from the body, then place the knee back onto the earth. This right foot ankle is right underneath the knee. Okay, so you've got like a 90-degree bend there. And then hands are rested on the floor. So this is option one. If you want to stay here, that's absolutely fine. Option two is to bend this left foot, or knee even. Sweep the right hand back. Either grab hold of the foot if you can reach it. If you can't reach it and you still want to get the quad stretch, you can keep extending the leg so that you bring the heel towards the buttocks. It's a lot more intense though. Not really yin, but I thought I'd add it in there anyway. Okay, so you could be here. Now there is a gentle twist and you're rotating. Open the right shoulder towards the floor. If this feels too intense and you can't relax into the pose here, then let go of the foot and just stay here. Bring in the right hand round to the left side of your thigh. So you're still getting that rotation. The right knee will naturally fan out a little bit. That's okay. Okay, so the right knee can come out towards the right side a little bit more. That's getting into the hip too. Beautiful. If it feels good, stay there. If not, move around and change it. But the whole idea with this is to find your own personal sweet spot. Okay, where do you feel most comfortable in this pose? And then we'll just pause here and breathe. Shuffling the weight evenly between the left hand down on the earth, the right foot, and the left knee. Sinking your hips forward as you peel open your heart. If you want it, you can take the gaze towards the right foot, rotating all the way around. And in this practice, the mantra is, I take care of myself, which ties in beautifully to putting our needs first, right? I take care of myself. Well, you've all showed up today, so you've taken a step in your life today, which is amazing. Be proud of that. You've committed to doing these sessions. And no matter what comes up for you in your practice, be open to it all. Be kind to what comes up, even if it is something that brings you a little bit more of a challenge. We've got a few more breaths here, really sinking in. So the gentle twist in this pose is massaging into the organs on the right. No doubt your kidneys and the sort of the exit side of your colon. Twisting is very good for bringing lots of healthy, energetic oxygen to nourish and nurture your cells, your muscles. Okay, for the inhale, you're going to gently release the foot if you have got hold of it. Bring your right hand down, and then slowly, you're going to pull the hips back, slide the right foot back. We're going to take a child's pose here, just to feel into the differences. I always like to do this because there's often quite substantial difference between the right and left hip. So you'll sink your hips down to your heels, stretch your arms forward, lower your forehead down. You can do anything you like with the hands here, so take them wide, sweep them back to the feet. Maybe bring the palms to prayer, thumbs behind the neck. I know someone fed back that last week. They said they really loved that pose. Whatever works for you. Just allowing yourself some stillness here to feel into how that feels in your legs, your hips. Good, and then slowly lift the head. We're going to transfer over to the other side. So the right knee is down on this one, the left foot steps through. Tuck under the right toes, draw the leg away so that we get deep into that hip flexor. And then sinking the knee back to the earth, right hand underneath your shoulder. Find the right angle with the knee to the ankle on the left side. And then just see into, are we going to do the same on the other side? So if you did the quad stretch on the other side, you'll do the same here. If you didn't, you stay where you are. Big sweep of the left hand back, grab hold of the foot. Wherever it is fine. Maybe it's too intense this side. You just don't know these things, do you? That's what makes yoga so beautiful, is we learn about our bodies. We learn our strengths and our weaknesses. We learn how to surrender the critical mind. And we learn how to breathe. So really feeling into your breath here. Harnessing our own inner courage to be grounded in our soul purpose. To witness ourselves in this moment. And then melt yourself into the pose. Really just, if there's any areas of tension, just soften them. Breathe into them. Of course, it's deep, this pose, so it's going to feel deep. But in the deepness, can you find the surrender? Can you find a little more release? Noticing how the breath is moving. Any resistance that arrives, we want to get closer to it, don't we? We want to feel it. I often say to journal those resistances. You know, when we saying affirmations, if I was to say an affirmation and you completely disagreed, then I'm not saying that you're wrong at all, because you're not. Everything's right for you. But why? Why do you feel so strongly? In fact, what is the, I give and receive equally for this one. The affirmation, I give and receive equally. And that goes from everything. Your energy, your physical actions. You give and you receive equally. How often do we just say thank you when someone compliments us? Or do we say, oh, what, this old dress? Or we dismiss compliments, don't we, quite often? Oh, maybe you don't, but perhaps this week, as we focus on grounding and being centered, if someone passes us a compliment, we look them straight in the eyes and thank them. Thank you. Right, deep breath in. We're coming out nice and slow, guys. Make sure you don't ricochet that foot. It's going to be released super slow. Bring your hand back down. Slowly draw your hips back. You want to move really slow out of these poses. They are so deep. Okay, where are we going to next? Coming to lay down on your back. Oh, sorry, child's pose first. Let's do a wide knee child's pose for this one, guys. So sweep the knees out wide. Apologies. Then reach your hands down to the floor. Bring your elbows out to the edge of your mat as well. So knees and elbows super wide. And then rest your head on the mat. Anything you like with your hands. What feels good for you? Sweep your hands back to the feet. Helps to release the shoulders more. Palms in prayer, thumbs to the back of your neck, helps to stretch your tricep muscles on the outside of your arms. Also opens the chest. Maybe you'll just have your hands forward because it feels divine there. Wherever you are, just sink into the stillness, getting closer to your breath. And then when you're ready, very slowly lifting up, coming to lay down on our back to do supine twist now. So let us bring the left knee into the chest first. Either right leg can be straight or you can bend and place the foot on the floor, up to you. Interlace both your fingers on top of the shin, just below the knee. Allow the shoulders to melt down and just draw the knee into the chest here. Now I'd really like you to take a moment to feel the earth beneath you and the body's connection to the earth. Take a deep breath in here. Allow that connection to be your sole concentration. To be one with the earth is to be grounded and centered. To be balanced in the root chakra. Right hand's going to slide to the outer edge of your left knee as you release the hands. And then you're bringing the left knee across the body. All the way over. Now we're going to do this slightly different today. I know I don't normally teach it this way, but once you've come across the body and your knee will go to wherever feels comfortable, you're going to then bend the right leg, stretch the left hand, see if you can grab the foot. If you can't, don't worry, you don't have to, but just bend the right leg, so that you get a little bit of a stretch on the quad there as well. And then if you can grab hold of the foot and you want to draw the heel to the buttocks, you can. So the left knee is across the body, that's it. Right knee is bent, that's the leg on the floor. And if you can take the foot, wonderful. If you can't, don't worry. And then this left shoulder, you want to try and draw it back towards the floor here so you can accentuate the twist. But we're drawing it back softly so it's not forced, okay? So that the pose still stays nice and neutral. Lovely. And then if you want to, finally, you can turn the head very slowly to look to the left side. Be very conscious of your neck though. You want to keep that neck gentle, or keep the muscles gentle there. And then relax. Wherever you are, completely let go. Maybe even visualize a pretzel, because it feels like a pretzel in this one. And then the mantra is, I trust the flow of life. I trust the flow of life. I trust the flow of life. Believing that your life is destined for greatness, that you are here to shine your beautiful, loving light into the world, to face all the challenges that come your way with grace. This is to live yoga. Our ultimate goal in this practice is to be peaceful within, undisturbed by what is going on around us. And I always like to remind us of that. You know, maybe that's not your goal, but the philosophy of yoga says to us that if we show up each day on our mat without any expectation, that over the years our journey will guide us to this inner peace. to this place of deep connection to love and a surrender of all our fear. Well, that's not to say we won't have fears anymore, because of course we will. But we'll know how to tackle them, won't we? We'll know when they arrive. We'll just nod and say, thank you for that fear, but I choose love today. I choose love. Wonderful. Okay. If you have hold of your right foot, you're going to release it gently. Slide the leg away, then bring your left knee back into the chest as you roll to your back. And then we'll set up for the other side. Okay, so right knee comes in. Either foot on the floor on the left side or straight, depending on how it feels in your hip flexor. Take a deep breath in here, just sink into this. And then left knee comes across the body, all the way towards the floor, or to wherever it goes that feels comfortable. Remember, we're all different. Lovely. Then the left knee bends. We take hold of that foot if it feels good to do so. And then sinking the right shoulder back towards the floor. It's a nice deep twist, this one, with a quad stretch thrown in. You don't have to do the quad stretch, of course, if it doesn't feel good. In fact, you don't have to do anything that doesn't feel good. Should have said that at the start, right? But I know most of you listen to your bodies really well, so let us just practice being still, being here with our breath. And your last mantra for the last pose is, I am grounded and stable. I am grounded and stable. I am grounded and stable. Steady in the breath. You know, our breath we talk a lot about in yoga. It is what keeps us alive. Yet so often we breathe unconsciously, not even aware of the quality and depth of our breath. I mentioned at the start to try and get out on the lawn. While the sun's out, it's a lot warmer. It's easier to walk barefoot. And take a few moments to just ground yourself into the earth, breathing in consciously, feeling into the coolness of the earth, the vibration of your skin touching it, maybe the softness of the surface that you're on, whether it be grass or squidgy mud, whatever you fancy. And as you breathe consciously here, allow yourself to center, to drop into the present time. Take another deep inhale. Exhale slowly. Then gently release the foot, let it go long, let the leg go long. Rolling back onto your spine, onto the back body, and then bring both knees into your chest. Interlace the fingers on top of your shins, and just give yourself a little back massage by rocking side to side. Very well done, everyone. So we'll find Shavasana now, your final pose. Laying down with your legs slightly wider than your hips, toes out to the sides, palms facing the sky. And it is a lovely grounding pose because you feel the surface of your body rested on the floor, and properly surrender. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and just let go. Inhale. Melt your shoulders away. Again, inhale. Feeling the whole body just surrender. Last time, inhale. Exhale, softening into the earth. Close your eyes if they are not already closed. And just notice. Notice how you are feeling. Notice how your breath is moving in and out of your nose. And notice the floor beneath you. Move your awareness now to the base of your spine. See a ball, a round circle of red energy spinning around and around. With each breath that you take, allow that red color to become brighter. Saying the following mantras in your mind. I am safe. I am secure. I am well taken care of, and I have everything I need to thrive. So I'm going to chant the sound Lam, which is a spiritual awakening sound that releases tension and blockages. It is an activating sound for the root chakra. You are welcome to sound with me at home, or just allow this vibration to wash over you as you relax into the floor. Lam, 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 Lam. Take a long, full, deep breath in through your nose. And exhale slowly out. Gently begin to move your fingers and toes. And then take a deep breath as you sweep the arms up over your head. Stretching through the whole body. Bring the hands towards the knees as you bring them into the chest. And lovingly wrap your arms around your legs. Gently squeezing in to seal and honor this movement that you've taken today. This mindful movement you've taken. And then when you're ready, roll over to one side. You're going to slowly come up to sitting. Bring our hands together in prayer to bow and seal Om Shanti.